out of my near every bar around. I've been locked up for driving 120 through town. I've been shot at and cut with a knife, messing around with another man's wife. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Threw my boss out the window and got fired from my last job. Hot wired a city truck and turned it over in the mayor's yard. Beat my brother-in-law half to death. Lost $20 on his football bet. But other than that, we ain't nothing, just good old boys. Good old boys, we're all the same. Ain't no way we'll ever change. Ain't no harm by the things we do or the trouble that we get into. Other than a wild hair once in a while, we can't help it, it's just our style. Good old boys, it's all we'll ever be.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show. Ash, Brent, Commander, all here on a beautiful Monday morning. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerland Hay Feed and Ranch Services.
75 degrees and sunny in Victoria, heading to a high today of 92.
Nice.
Supposed to be partly cloudy tomorrow, partly cloudy Wednesday, sunny Thursday, sunny Friday. 77 every morning, 91 to 93 every day. It'll be a long week of summertime.
Yeah, because it's here. Unofficially still, but
not bad.
Here. No, Ricky King, Mark Kurtz, Scott Tomko on the podium this morning. Rena Scherer just missing out. Good morning, Justin Glass, Bobby Leister. I wonder where we're big tonight or today because Bobby's on the cruise ship somewhere.
I'm glad he's up and checking in.
Me too. Marvin Makers, Lisa Poole, Scott Snow, Michelle Hawkins. Good morning, Jordan Glass.
Really, really boring cruise.
Judge Posey slept in a little bit this morning. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Judge.
Linda Chris, Tammy Keeling, Greg Garcia, David Glass, Stephanie Cotty, Buddy Stavano, Wendy Hughes Garcia. Good morning. Glad you're all here.
Great
Thanks
group.
For everybody
good morning,
that's
folks.
Joining us on Magic, Roku.
Happy Monday.
We're here. Great weekend. I did a little yard work. What did you managed to enjoy the beach?
I did. I
was it packed?
Went to Coletta to the lake on Saturday and went to the beach in Rockport yesterday. I haven't really ever done that. I used to like to go down to Port Aransas, and I like Port Aransas. I used to like it because you could drive down onto the beach, whereas in Rockport you park in a parking lot. Now, as the guy who cleans up the vehicle, I was thrilled to park in the parking lot at Rockport.
Not have to get your car washed underneath.
Not have to take the ferry. Not have to. You know, Rockport's, it's nice. The beach was nice.
Dawn, unfortunately, took the ferry
with
her to the beach.
She's still out there.
Sure, we left her.
Right, where are you?
But a nice day. Weather was perfect. It was great South Texas weekend. So, yeah, Rockport's nice.
Well, Vincent, Junior Samples, we're no longer big in Neosho, Missouri, but I'm sure he left.
I compare and I try to figure out, I guess maybe in theory, and I know it's not even a matter of preference. For a lot of people, it's just a matter of opportunity, like where they choose to be. But when you consider that I can be in Rockport in roughly an hour, and if I say it's roughly an hour to be in Port O'Connor, you can't give me a good reason to be in Port O'Connor instead of Rockport. You just can't. Real estate prices are roughly the same.
Yep.
Rockport has an H-E-B. They've got some fine dining places. They've got a nightlife if you want it. Port O'Connor has people in golf carts driving around drunk. That's what they've got. There's really zero comparison between the two locales. Given that, it's going to cost you $500,000 to buy something you wouldn't live in Victoria.
Just for the lot.
Just for the, just put my house up on stilts, charge me $500,000 for it. Oh, it's 1,800 square feet. It's a clown show. But same thing in Rockport.
Yeah.
If it's anywhere near the water, it's going to cost you $1 million. It's just crazy.
It is. Hurricane season officially underway yesterday. 13 to 19 named storms. 3 to 5 of those major hurricanes of Cat 3 or more, according to the National Weather Service. FEMA apparently not ready, of course, because their budget cuts somehow impacted their ability to do what they have done for decades.
Trump did that.
Yeah.
It's FEMA chaos. If you go back up, I find it interesting right here. It says the National Weather Service is trying to fill more than 150, air quotes, critical vacancies.
Yeah, let's see what CNN
remember
is
that the National Weather Service has zero control over the weather. If we need 150 critical people to tell us that it's raining, then we just are overstaffed.
Remember the National Weather Service and NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. I think it was the Obama. When did they close the local weather service in Victoria? Was that under Bush or was that under Obama?
Did it affect the weather?
No.
Okay.
And all the fears that it was going to affect their ability to predict the weather accurately. Probably, you know what, to be honest, probably some truth to that, because they always forecast 12 inches of rain coming with this storm.
And then we get like dust.
Yes. So yeah, it probably did.
We have Maclovio Perez. We don't need anything else. We have Crossroads today.
The bigger problem is, in my opinion, there are fewer weather satellites in the air, in the sky now, than there were 30 years ago.
Is that right?
Yes.
Here's the deal. The people that you need to let you know that a hurricane is going to come ashore in a week are still there. And Jim Cantori is still there. That's all you need. Jimmy C.
And not Jim Cantori.
Right. And of course, yes, our own Cody Sugar. Absolutely.
Oh, you got Stephanie Miller. Good morning from the YYC. Mark Zepeda. Andrew Alvarez is better fishing in Port O'Connor, but Rockport is better living. Scott Tompkins says Port O'Connor is closer to Houston.
Who said better fishing?
Andrew Alvarez.
And Andrew, I don't disagree, but better fishing in in Porto than where? It's nowhere near.
Than Rockport, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's it. It's better than Rockport, and it's better than the Guadalupe River, but that's it. Port O'Connor is not my fishing destination.
Junior Sample says Port O'Connor is a drinking town with a fishing problem.
That's true.
Jackie Parsons, good morning. So, and I don't know. I have a feeling if you have a house in Port O'Connor, you're going to find out. I think if you let's say you own one house in Port O'Connor, one house in Rockport.
Right.
I think if something was going on in your house in Rockport and Port O'Connor, let's say somebody squatted, you had a squatter in your house, you'd probably find out from the authorities in Rockport before you'd find out from the authorities in Port O'Connor.
That's fair. There's torn bales. I found something interesting on the 5 things on the CNN deal.
Yeah.
Can you get to that?
Yeah.
I'm going to see what Torrin has to think about this. In fact, I'd love a phone call from Torrin if this is pertinent.
Which ones?
There was a thing, if you scroll down.
There's 5 of them.
And there's 5 of them. And there was one on there about, maybe it's not there.
No, I've got a couple of these.
There was a deal on there about that folks that are selling precious stones are saying that it was one of the first ones that I opened, that now that it's not such a bad deal that there's
flaws,
and all that. And I'm curious.
I saw the headline of the weekend too. Yeah. I'm
not seeing it now. I guess I'm not seeing it. It's not important, but it was on that format on one of them that I did open for sure this morning. Because I was here doing prep work while you were still in transit. But I just find it interesting.
Did you say transition?
Transition. He's still in transition. We're just letting the hair grow
perpetually
now.
in transition.
Cody, we're just letting the hair grow now. I think it was there. Maybe it was. Anyway,
I'm looking for it. You just keep.
It just said it was one of the top things when you go through. It said, gyms now that have certain inclusions, it no longer is it just
flaws.
Cut and clarity is not the telltale of the value of a diamond. I thought, well, that's interesting. It was.
It's all marketing, man. It's all marketing.
Well, I think I think it's on that one, but it's higher up.
If we only had a diamond specialist
It's
that
higher.
could call in and tell us
It's
about
the
this.
other way.
Do we know
Doesn't
anyone,
matter.
anyone in radio land?
I saw the same headline. I just can't
Yeah,
find the story.
I just can't find
Yeah.
it now.
No, I did.
Well, what do you think? I mean, but have you ever known anybody with any class that bragged about? I mean, there are certainly investment grade diamonds, right? I mean, there's things you go, wow, what a beautiful stone.
The thing is, unless you've got the thing to look at it, is anybody really going to go
The
like
loop?
this to the left hand?
Yeah.
And go,
Oh, wow.
oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Ain't happening.
I do think that most women would sacrifice quality for size when it comes to diamonds.
Yes.
Okay. There's Torn Bells calling.
Diamonds
Let's
only.
get him on. We have a diamond. We have a friend in the diamond business. Let me get this gentleman on here. And
Mr. Blue Nile
hang on.
himself.
Hang on,
We
TV.
know a
Hang on,
guy.
TV. He's not dialed in. I've got to get him connected here
Oh,
to
okay.
the Rody Caster Pro. And when I do that, okay, we should have him now. Is Mr. Bales there? Let's see if.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show.
Hello, sir. Had you seen this headline? And in fact, you could have probably written this article with your experience. We're visiting with Torrin Bales, a lifetime in the diamond business, in the jewelry business, and a great career here, a fantastic business that we helped put out of business. And Torrin, good morning, my friend. Had you
Good
seen
morning.
that headline? Do you know what that is all about?
No, I didn't see the headline. What did it say?
It was talking about, and here's one. CNN says, rarity over perfection, why jewelers are championing ugly gems.
This is the headline.
Okay, this is the headline. It says, using the scientific precision of IF type Leah to describe diamonds so pure they show no inclusions under 10 times.
Internally flawless is the IF, right?
Yes, sir. He's until now once dismissed as ugly ducklings, too marked, too dark, or too strange. Imperfect gems are now stepping into the spotlight as high-end jewelers increasingly champion stones with unique inclusions or less than perfect clarity.
So we're talking about imperfect versus internally flawless, I think is what they're talking about. And maybe they're actually trying to market like they're trying to market flawed gems as rare. And maybe they are rare because of color or whatever, but it's kind of almost like the premise of when they marketed, brown or black diamonds.
Chocolate
Yes, sir.
diamonds.
Exactly.
It's
And
kind of
they,
like if you
and-
went to Atzenhofer and the front left fender of a new pickup was caved in, and they said, "No, there's a little upcharge for that one. It's very rare, very rare. You can
Normally
buy
it
it."
doesn't cave in this position.
Right, exactly. You know who's going to start sporting some included diamonds now will be John Paul Hull. He'll have some.
Yeah.
I'm
He'll
buying
be,
up
he'll be giving them away at his brunches on Sunday that everybody
we're not
else is
invited
to
to.
throw away now. The ones JP used to throw away. Now people are
Well,
collecting those.
That's what I'm.
What
that's
all
what
was
I'm
in-
wondering, because that's what it says here in the article. Fashion houses like Dior, Louis Vuitton, Gucci, among those making creations out of these. Is it because they've had a back room just
Stuffed
slammed
with
with
them?
this stuff and
Yeah.
they're figuring out what to do with them?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, honestly, it is. I mean, it's, and like I said, I refer back to the black diamond, and the black diamond deal. Actually, I mean, when you mount them with white diamonds, I mean, they really are pretty.
Isn't that
Black
just
diamonds
coal?
matter.
Isn't black diamonds just coal?
Right.
It's just.
You can always- You can start a fire with it.
Diamonds are. I mean, they are coal, but it's just where it hasn't crystallized. And
Yeah.
I mean, they really don't have any. I mean, they used to make drill bits and
Right.
crush them for saw blade dust and stuff like that. But then they thought, hey, we can make something out of these and charge more for them as jewelry than we can as drill bits. But and the same thing holds true probably for this. I mean, because obviously the beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and if they can make something pretty and market it, then they can sell it for more money.
What all was in the goodie bag when you went to JP's brunch that Wade and Carter wasn't invited to?
Well, there was about 400 people there, and
Right.
it was
Small, intimate gathering that we didn't make the cut.
Yeah, he gave away 70-inch TVs.
Everybody got a
It was
Rolex.
it was pretty cool. It was, I mean, pretty much everyone was there. Y'all were there, right?
No, everybody got a Rolex from his personal collection, 400.
Yeah. So no, it's all good, and we're out here at the Ponderosa, just getting ready to do some mowing.
Nice.
Hey, amen. Hey, go get them. We appreciate the call. We love
All
you,
right.
brother.
Hey,
We'll
no
see you
problem.
soon.
Y'all have a great day.
Bye,
Have a
buddy.
great
Bye.
day.
That's
Yeah.
Torn
Gotta
Bales.
be careful
Great,
when mowing. I
great
saw-
Victorian.
I don't remember which county it was the other day, but there was an attack of some Africanized killer bees that took down like 3 horses.
They don't mess with Torn Bales.
No.
So Torn's place, it looks like a park, right?
Yeah.
And like Torn, he's got a beautiful like meadow, and he could let it grow, right? And it could turn into hay, and it could be baled. It's
Good.
just he doesn't want it. It's mowed.
It's too much work.
It's like a golf course.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. Scott Tomko, good morning. John Anderson checking in. There's Brent Anderson. We got the Anderson
Good
boys
morning.
in. I was scrolling the wrong way just to mess with Brent.
What did
There's Peter McNally. Oh, he's in. We're huge in New York right now.
Hey, good morning, Pete. And Junior says that Torn Bales is Victoria's rock star. A little
Pun.
pun there. I like
Yeah.
that.
Monty Howard, Sherrod Jacobs, White Trash Services. Good morning. Good opportunity to remind you to become a customer of White Trash Services. If you're a new customer now, sign up for service. You'll be entered into a drawing that'll take place in July because White Trash is celebrating their 11th anniversary. And if you're the lucky one that they draw, you will have 11 months of free trash service. So there you go.
It's not a bad deal.
Not a bad deal. It's a really good deal, actually. And their prices aren't crazy. I mean, it's not like it's going to break the bank, but it's nice that you can throw that money to something else. You can save up for a family trip.
We mentioned
Christmas.
Atzenhofer, atzenhofer.com, your place to find a new Chevy truck or a new
Go get that
Mitsubishi vehicle.
vehicle with a slight imperfection.
There won't be one,
No, there
although
won't
that's a
be.
great way to promote it, right? This one has some slight imperfections.
Meanwhile, the Yacht Rock's playing in the
Right.
in the showroom.
Absolutely. Nothing but Yacht Rock in the showroom. Went services, went electrical, went generators. You need turnkey generator service. What other kind is there? You don't really want that delivered to your driveway in a box, and then you've got to find a way to put it together.
Yeah, no, nobody wants that.
Do you assemble that yourself? Does it just come with a bag and a whole bunch of nuts and like one of those little Allen wrenches
from
your
yeah.
fingers are bleeding from trying to do that? Let Wint handle that for you. Wint Services for all your electrical needs. Chestnut Furniture Company. For over 100 years, Bobby Leon's family have taken care of you and yours.
They're awesome.
Find out why you just always do better at Chestnut. Get by and realize that Chestnut can love make your house a home. First State Bank of Louise, Astros update. Astros. They won what they won a few, lost a few, and there you have it.
They split with Tampa Bay, but Hunter Brown, really actually good effort all the way around. He went, I think, 6, struck out 5.
He's now
Gave
8-3.
Didn't give
Ash.
up a run.
Sub 2 ERA.
Yeah,
I think the
Astros
guy's
scored-
he's on the track to a Cy Young. I really do. I think
Astros scored 1 in the first, and that was it.
I've got him at 8-3, and
I think that's where he is.
he's pitching really well. That's
wasn't
that's
his,
close,
wasn't his
right?
best outing, but it was good enough, and the bullpen did well.
almost 8 out of 11.
Almost.
There you
You
have it.
doing my math now?
Don't forget to get by First State Bank of Louise. Free checking, free savings. Go by and see those folks. They're the nicest folks in town.
They really are.
And they happen to be in the banking business. But they're big enough to get it done and small enough to know you by name. They're super friendly and super accessible. Go by and see
Morning
them.
Marina. We're big in Vancouver this morning.
There you go. Parvita Wellness. Get in and get healthy. Vita Cafe open this morning. Get by the Vita Cafe and have a healthy breakfast. Probably something in there with some egg whites. Go by and check that out.
Or you can get by Power Vita Wellness. They'll have stuff in their to-go cooler ready to go
Absolutely.
for breakfast. They do it like an overnight oats. That's really good. And I like the little egg muffin things that are pretty good.
Eh?
It's almost like a quiche, but no
Pretty
crust.
good,
It
eh?
is pretty good, eh?
It's like a crustless quiche, eh?
Did the Canadian come out of me on that one?
Just
Is
a
that
little.
bit?
Just like
Okay.
it's almost like a quiche.
Just checking.
Okay.
Just checking. Oh, it's like a quiche.
There was their hockey this
Oh, for sure.
weekend.
No, not till Wednesday. I've been having my withdrawals. This is where I have problems with the NHL because they've taken time off, and now the Stanley Cup Finals will not begin until Wednesday. All of Canada rooting for the Florida Panthers because nobody wants to see the Edmonton Oilers win.
Not even folks in Edmonton, right?
Folks in Edmonton, will.
Maybe.
That's it.
Maybe.
But the rest of Canada, no, they're all cheering for the
Will
Florida
there
Panthers.
be like this time of the year? Will there be like a
the Florida Panthers have changed their mascot or their logo just for this?
But will there
Stanley
be a
Cup playoffs.
resurgence or a siding of the great one? Will Wayne Gretzky be dragged back in?
I'm sure he. Good question because he's on the TNT hockey coverage panel, and I think all these games will be on ESPN. So I don't think that they will drag him in.
Well, I just wondered if maybe they would be. How many Stanley Cups did Wayne Gretzky win?
4, I believe.
Wow, that's enough, right? I mean, that's Hall of Famer stuff.
Yeah. Scott Tomko says there's going to be a lot of scrums in this series. Yeah,
Peter
there probably
McNally
will.
calling from New
It
York.
was 4.
Let's take this call.
All right, here I'm gonna show this real quick before we.
Okay, hang on.
So people can see what I
Hang
was
on,
what
Pete.
I was showing folks. But this is the new this is the logo.
You're making Peter McNally wait from New York to
I
show
am.
a Canada hockey thing that
I am.
nobody cares
Nobody
about.
cares about, and I can't. Now I
There
can't
you go.
find
So
it.
push up,
Yeah.
Pete's. There you go. You keep piddling with that. while you-
Pete's up.
Pete, are
He's
you
ready to
there,
go.
sir? Oh, hang on.
Yeah, blaming
Every
me. It's
time.
your fault.
No.
I
Every
just
time.
wanted to
There you go, sir.
I just wanted to tell you guys. Yesterday, I have some reborn faith in America. I was on the number 4 train all the way out. Well, one of the stops is Yankee Stadium, but I went all the way out to the New York Botanical Gardens. It's a fabulous place, 250 acres, way out in the Bronx. My mom was born in the Bronx, and I was trying to see where she was born. She was born in one of those tenements. You know, they're just miles and miles of tenement houses.
Yes, sir.
Apartment. But what I wanted to tell you, I kind of had a rebirth of faith in America. You know, all the people from all backgrounds getting on the subway, getting in on the train, they're all helping each other, and people in wheelchairs, people in canes, people old, new, young, Muslim,
Very nice.
you know, every nationality in the world, and everybody friendly and helpful. And me not being a New Yorker, asking a lot of questions. Where do I get off? Where do you do this? I never had one person turn me down. Just a wonderful experience I had yesterday. I hadn't been on a subway for an hour in 20 years. So
Well,
it was
good for
really
you.
interesting.
That's been my
It gives you a
experience
lot
in
of
New York
faith in
every
America.
time.
What's the weather like?
Yeah. It's been really nice. A little cool in the mornings, but
We'll
it's
take
nice.
it.
It's about 70 degrees right now, and there's no wind, and it's partly cloudy. We had a little rain the first couple of days, but it's been nice. And we went to see just in time that Jonathan Groff hit. He'll probably win the Tony. He is an amazing actor, unbelievable dancer, singer, actor. He's unbelievable. Check him out, Jonathan Groff. He's going to be I think he'll win the Tony.
What's he in?
It's called Just in Time. It's the Bobby Darin story. It's the story of Bobby Darin's life. Wonderful story. You know, Bobby Darin died when he was 37. I mean, he was right in the middle of Elvis, but you know, if he would have lived longer, he might have been bigger than Elvis. I mean, unbelievable. But
Them's fighting words, Pete.
No, we like it.
Jonathan Groff is probably one of the best performers I've ever seen. And, you know, through my brother, I've seen a lot of really pretty good performers.
That's awesome.
Unbelievable.
That's high praise.
Enjoy your trip and travel safe. And we always appreciate you checking in, my friend. You be well.
Just wanted to let you all know that you would have faith in America. I mean, it's wonderful to see so many people of so many nationalities and
I don't know.
backgrounds get along.
I don't know if you knew this or not, but yesterday on the number 4 train, it was Republicans only day. And-
Was it?
yes, sir. Those were all Republicans.
They didn't look like Republicans to me.
See, now you're stereotyping. Don't. Yeah, hey, we love you, buddy. You be safe.
Okay.
Bye, pal. That's Pete McNally. He's our favorite. He's just one of our favorite people, period. I was going to say he's our favorite liberal, but that's not fair. He's one of our favorite people.
Absolutely.
Torrin Bell says, how about Scotty Scheffler? No doubt about
When-
it. Scotty
when-
Scheffler took the lead with a birdie, or tied for the lead. Took the lead with a birdie on 18 on Saturday, and I didn't bother to watch yesterday.
The
because-
guy yipped out a 3-footer to not have the lead or to give up the lead solely to Scheffler on Saturday. And I can't
So
remember who
you
it
knew
was.
that Scheffler was going to win
Yeah, at
on
that point,
Saturday.
yeah,
Jennifer Rayburn,
He was shaking in his golf shoes if he missed a 3-footer.
if you want to check this gentleman out, can you spell his name for us, Jennifer? Says he was in Frozen, the animated film, and in Hamilton as well. If you what was his name?
Jonathan something.
Groff,
Yeah,
Groff.
something like
I
that.
don't know. Commander's on it, but Jennifer Rayburn much more efficient.
Just getting attacked.
Getting
Yeah.
attacked by the dog.
The dog just came around to let us know that it's kind of like the middle of the show, and he makes a loop and he jumps up and kind of scratches my kidney.
There we go.
Jonathan Griffith.
Thank you.
Okay, there we
There's
go.
Frank Mejia checking in. Good morning, Frank.
Frankie
It's Jonathan Groff.
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 Okay.
Okay. Yankees won yesterday, I'm sure, because they played.
I don't know if they did. I don't know. They played the
saw-
Dodgers this weekend, and that was all you heard about on ESPN.
No,
so I tuned
Yankees,
it out.
Dodgers, Yankees, Dodgers.
Yeah, I tuned it out.
Dodgers may make it to the World Series. Doubtful that the Yankees will. I found it interesting that when I'm watching, it's just freakish to watch Aaron Judge in the batter's box. He's just a giant human being. It's like if Herman Munster went to the plate.
Frank Howard is what he reminds me of.
Oh,
You picture
such a-
Frank Howard. Yankees beat the Dodgers 7-3.
Yeah, they were up like 6-0 when I was watching.
Both
So-
teams 36 wins. Yankees half game up.
Is that Birdman?
I think it's just clickbait garbage.
Yeah, but you know that-
I'm not even going to bother.
That guy Birdman, he played at Blinn. Did you know that?
Yeah, no, I know, but it's trying to get me to clickbait into something that I don't need to clickbait onto. Oh, let's see what else is going
Let's
on.
get back
in
to
the
some
world- in
news.
the world
It's
of
a Monday.
sport. I don't know. I'm kind of into the world of sport right now.
Senate has the
Rescission bill.
yeah. Now, so as I understood it, the big beautiful bill is focused on mandatory expenditures, Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. It's focused on those things. People, some of the right have been upset that it doesn't, rescission is one S, doesn't it? Maybe I'm wrong.
Don't.
Oh, it has 3 S's. Okay. RESCISSION. I would have missed that at the spelling.
I
bee.
did too. I just did.
Um,
I didn't. I would have got Sasquatch though.
it doesn't codify the cuts made by Doge because those were discretionary expenditures. And the administration is saying it will address those at a later date.
Here's what's ticking me off with this whole thing.
Okay.
It's $9 billion.
Yeah, it's not.
We spend tens of trillions. Our debt is 35 trillion. 9 billion is nothing.
I get a kick out of folks saying that if the administration reduces funding to PBS or NPR, that it is somehow
Taking away.
freedom of speech.
Oh.
And the reality is freedom of speech does not mean government funded. I mean, at all.
You would
it's-
think
the
there's-
premise
yeah.
is so flawed.
You would think there's the conflict of interest there, right? That the government would make no law restricting your speech, but all of a sudden they're telling you they're funding places you could, I mean, I could make that stretch that they're giving me money.
Right.
I must say what they want me to say.
And, or at least consider the repercussions if I don't.
Exactly.
And you know what? And I'm not defending the president here. Maybe these are the repercussions. We're not going to give you $9.3 billion because I mean, the people that are whining about freedom of speech and that somehow the president's restricting it are the same people that were all for Kamala Harris having a piecemealed interview shown on CBS. Anything that exposed her for being the idiot that she is was cut out of the interview.
Yeah.
But that's okay. So freedom of speech doesn't mean total access, and it doesn't mean transparency. So I don't understand. I mean, I
Don't
really
forget
don't get
the
it.
same media that might be impacted by these cuts, the 9.3 billion cuts. They're the same ones that perpetuated the complete lie that Joe Biden was mentally competent for the last 4 years.
True. And mocked anybody who didn't agree.
Exactly.
And I don't have a problem. And
Called you fake news.
nobody should really have a problem with USAID going away. It had morphed and devolved long far away from its original purpose. It was just not efficient.
I hate pop-ups.
It was
listen to some of the stuff that would be cut in the rescission act.
There's
bill.
some great points here.
$500,000 for electric buses in Rwanda.
But they need water. They don't need buses.
Rwanda doesn't care about the environment. $750,000 for reducing xenophobia in Venezuela. You know how you reduce xenophobia in Venezuela? Get rid of the dictator running the country.
Solid.
CIA, let's go. Let's get after it.
$3 million for a children's developmental television program in Iraq.
This is Sesame Street Iraqi version.
Who cares?
I know. I mean,
who?
No, I know.
Where? What is it? Because this
is from the Hill. We're not making this stuff up.
Is it just like America's Chamber of Commerce? We're going to make America look benevolent and charitable. I mean, give those people food, farming equipment. Give them something else.
Well, we do that too. That's when they have to buy our tractors and nobody else's when we give them foreign aid. But
Monty Howard with a solid point, man. NPR talking about free speech. It's the same whining that people put up about the Dixie Chicks when people quit consuming their product. It was always amazing to me as a person who I've met the Dixie Chicks. I even enjoyed the Dixie Chicks. But when they went to a foreign country and exclaimed that they were embarrassed about our president, even if now I can tell you I'm embarrassed about W as well. But here's the deal. If you people decide to turn off our show because I offended you by saying that, isn't that just the price I pay for free speech? Nobody says free
price
speech.
I would pay for your free speech.
It's not free from criticism. It's not free from repercussions speech. The Dixie Chicks literally went on a tour and whined about, I can't believe that we've been, blackballed. Well, that's because you went to a foreign country and talked bad about our president.
And here, I'll be honest, here's the thing with the Dixie
I
Chicks
like it
at
when
that
you're
time.
honest.
I try to be honest.
Right.
I don't know why I preface that.
I don't
shouldn't
know.
have had
I don't
to.
think you should have.
No, I'm not. Okay, I'm not going to be honest.
That's a sure sign that there's
That I was
times you
gonna lie?
lie to us. Yes.
Can we be honest here for a minute? Don't make me whip out my gavel.
I've got the gavel. Go ahead.
Why
Be
are you
honest.
holding my gavel?
Be honest. It's a
To
really
my head.
big gavel. Like that.
I still listen to the Dixie Chicks.
You know how I know you're gay?
They're on my playlist when they were the Dixie Chicks.
Now they're just the chicks. Now they could be just the fat
By the
chicks.
time they started criticizing W, their music wasn't getting all the airplay
That's right.
that it used to. They were trying to do something.
Natalie Maines had a big mouth in a foreign country and people got upset about it. Yeah, I agree 100%.
But now they're just the chicks. I wouldn't be surprised if somehow on their reunion tour 25 years later, the Dixie Chicks return.
Well, they separated themselves from anything Dixie, the Old South,
Lady Antebellum did the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Now they're just Lady A because, it stands for antebellum. These people.
Now there's a move in Cleveland to bring the Cleveland Indians back.
Why not? Because that whole thing was such an overreach and overreaction.
I think we called that.
Yeah,
back when?
We also called it the Washington Redskins will one day again be the Washington Redskins.
They will be.
But I think what's interesting with them was if people choose, like they got.
That could be a little derogatory.
In entertainment, people support people that they like. If you don't like them, I'm not saying, well, it is fair. It's eminently fair if people get offended at Bruce Springsteen for his position on the current president, and they choose to quit buying his records because they just don't like the guy anymore, that doesn't make them simple-minded or inconsiderate.
No.
It just means, hey, you're an entertainer. You don't entertain me anymore, which is why so many entertainers need to just realize their place. You're just there to entertain.
That's why, I mean, was there a coincidence when the Spurs started to not play well and Greg Popovich started getting a little too political in his questions or answers to questions? I don't know.
People don't like Pop.
But here's the irony. You mentioned Bruce Springsteen. It's funny because Born in the USA was actually not really a pro-USA song when it was written and released.
True story.
It was misinterpreted by everybody.
Well, I think the thing that happens here is, I mean, make no mistake, it hits close to home because we're always one show away from being out of business. I mean, you know, we could say the wrong thing and all of y'all could go, that's it, I'm done with them.
You could say the wrong thing.
You don't think it would ever happen to you?
It could.
Wow. I've seen cocksurety, but then again, wow. No, but it could happen.
You have to have one of those to have surety.
The reality is,
glad you caught that one.
there you
I'm
go.
on fire this
But you
morning.
know, the thing
Lack of
is,
sleep and not enough caffeine yet.
many of you tune in, if you're honest, you tune in to go, what absurdity will they spew this morning? How off the cuff can they be? How
sounds
far
like
will
something
they go?
they would say.
Yeah, that got
Remember
her
that?
in trouble and sure shut her up, didn't it? Yeah. Come on back anytime you want. That shut her up. That sounds like something they would say. It wasn't us making the comment that was misconstrued as racist.
Yeah.
It was made by a Hispanic guy on a Hispanic channel
as a joke.
as a joke that the left can't take. There can't be any humor. Speaking of, Cody, you got any update on when the left, the hateful, ugly eight, are they going to protest again anytime soon?
Scott Tomko asked if Ash doesn't open with, to be honest, should I question his comments?
I often do, Scott.
I've heard it's going to be Saturday.
What are they going to protest about? Do you have any clue?
No clue.
Is somebody going to show up with a
Everything.
flamethrower?
Did you hear that? No, it's a terrible, terrible thing because, if it wasn't for the fact that I believe this guy is actually a complete lunatic, this is the kind of
anything
thing
illegal.
Well, this is the kind of thing you would say if the regime was different, you and I would be musing about whether or not this guy was a plant. Was this guy a plant? Because this guy did
now.
I'll be honest. I'm just like, hey, look, there's a guy who crafted a flamethrower, Mohammed Sabri Soleiman, 45.
An illegal immigrant, an illegal alien.
Free Palestine. And he used a makeshift flamethrower and threw Molotov cocktails. At least 8 individuals, 4 men and 4 women, no children apparently. They were 52 to 88 were injured in the attack. He seems to be following in the footsteps of the 2 Jewish kids that were shot outside. But it was at a Jewish function, right? Am I right?
Yeah, it was
Jewish community center.
Apparently, this is something they've been holding regularly since the October 7th terrorist attacks on Israel.
So you got to find it interesting that a Muslim guy creates a flamethrower, attacks Jews, anti-Semitic.
Who taught him to make a makeshift flamethrower? Hamas? Is this a Hamas guy?
Free Palestine. And then you've got to wonder, like, it's just almost too perfect. There's a part of me that says, really?
Here's something that's real. I noticed, I started following this yesterday when I saw a headline pop up when Kash Patel was on talking about how they were investigating a terror attack in Boulder, Colorado. This was early afternoon yesterday.
Yeah.
It wasn't until the evening when I finally saw a headline that said what the terror attack was. You can't tell me.
The media is pro-Palestine. The media is anti-Israel.
You can't tell me that if this was some white Republican linked
Oh, they would have known
event,
it right away.
it would have been right away.
Right-wing extremists attacks folks. Trump devotee attacks Jews in Boulder.
The media would have been on this thing for sure right away. And it took forever to find out. And there's still some media outlets that will not report this guy was in the country illegally. Even the Homeland Security has said that.
Yeah, he overstayed a visa, and then he decided to attack some Jewish folks, elderly folks, 52 to 88. Monty Howard said he read he's Egyptian. That's what I heard as well.
Yeah. It's still illegal. I don't care where he's from. He's here illegally. I'd be curious to see.
But isn't it a little too perfect? This is why we need to get rid of the illegals. You know, I mean, seriously, isn't that kind of where
but they'll flip it. The left will flip it. This is why we need to help these people assimilate.
If I was being objective and the roles were reversed, I would say this guy's a plant, by the Biden administration. But instead, I would feel disingenuous if I didn't point it out. If I were a leftist, I would be wondering if the Republicans somehow and who are the Republicans? I don't know. If they set it up.
I'd be curious if we don't start finding more out about this gentleman.
Yeah.
That maybe had ties to Hamas or another terrorist group.
Sure. He certainly hated Jewish folks.
Absolutely. Enough to craft a flamethrower and try to burn people alive. I mean, how sadistic do you have to be to want to inflict that kind of?
Republicans are going to pull his funding. Any more chirping out of Harvard? I didn't know there were 21,000 people at Harvard. I would have thought. I mean, do you realize?
And it is a small
how
campus.
Eminently more exclusive Rice University is than Harvard.
Rice has 3,000 people.
Yeah,
or students. It's something like that.
Yeah, just
and a bigger campus too.
I watched a deal over the weekend. I like to get on the Smithsonian Channel and watch Aerial America.
Yeah.
Did you know that Duke University is named after a guy named Duke that gave one? So originally he gave him $85,000 and they bought some property. This was back long and long ago. And then his son later came along and gave them 19 million more, which is when they built in like 1935, they finished the Duke Chapel and all of that. Duke, obviously one of the premier educational locations in the country, very, very exclusive, very hard to get into. Virginia, Duke, North Carolina, some of those schools that are they're not Ivy League, but they're elite. But the guy,
they're Ivy Light.
Is it a problem? Is it a problem for anybody that all the money came from tobacco sales? The Dukes were huge in the tobacco business.
Probably had slaves at one point.
No doubt about it. No, there's no doubt about it. Duke built on the back of Black America. But they don't seem too apologetic.
Oh, Coach K was there.
Very interesting.
You know what I have noticed, though? There's no talk about the stock market right now because
it's up.
It's up 18%.
Egg prices are down.
From the lows that everyone was complaining about, that Trump was destroying the stock market and people's 401ks and their IRAs.
In no time, it'll be all he cares about is the stock market. Yeah. That's all he cares about.
It's coming, but right
people
now,
are fickle and people are stupid.
Well, the media just drives this stuff.
Give me some data on the chopping block. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. In the next couple of days, Ash and I will craft out when Wade and Carter night will be, so that those of you that don't want to be there on a rowdy Thursday night can plan to go at another time, because you can go every day. Palace Bingo, support all the local charities, 7, I think, and supports them well.
6 or 7 for sure.
USA Concrete Coatings. Charlie Garcia and his team can help you sand it, seal it, stain it, paint it, whatever you want done to your concrete floor, or level that driveway, put down a tough as nails polyurethane coat that won't crack, stick, peel, or fade. They can seal the cracks. They can also level your foundation. They have USA Concrete Repair. Veracruz Restaurant, today's a great day to get in for the full spectrum of Mexican food, the best in town. No doubt about it. Get into Veracruz today. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to. Let Allen's help you get from here to there. If you've got a problem, they will pick it up and get it where it needs to be.
You know what people don't realize? Chopping Block is calling today Competition Barbecue Monday. And they've got all your briskets, ribs, chickens, anything you need for competition cooking. They can supply it. And not only will they supply it, they'll deliver it. If you're looking for something this week, they're going to deliver it at Smoke in the Mountains. So make sure you get your orders in. And they say, if you need delivery to another location, just let them know. Ask them. And if they have somebody going that way, they will bring it to you. Doesn't get much more convenient than that. So
Yeah, it's
362-541-5567. Get your orders in today by noon. You can even text them those orders. Look at those briskets.
the meat's amazing. They have fantastic. Go to Facebook and just go to the Chopping Block page. It looks fantastic.
It looks like the 97th Yoakum Tom Tom Festival is coming up this weekend. So there's a big cook-off there. They're going to be there. The Great American Cook-Off. There's like 5 cook-offs this weekend in the area. So
there you go.
There you
Dollar
go.
Floor Store. Get in and get laminate flooring, tile, carpet, hardwoods, whatever you need. What are you laughing at?
The
I thought-
dog.
I thought you were going to say get in and get healthy. I'm like, it's the Dollar Floor Store.
You don't want to eat that
No.
stuff.
But you know
Lisa
what?
Poole-
You could eat the savings.
Lisa Poole points out that Popovich was a huge China supporter. He needed to shut up and coach. I think the Spurs got away from the fact that they're in the entertainment business too. There is nothing that says that you care about those folks' political bent. I don't understand.
Well, of course, Pop was a China supporter.
Well, the NBA is big on China.
They're
That's
huge on
part
China.
of
They
it.
can't speak out against that. And all their shoes are made in China.
True story too. See, things that you just don't think about necessarily. Do you think it's relative at all or relevant at all that the man, go back to your story there. A shirtless man allegedly assaulted a group of people in Boulder, Colorado. A shirtless man. Was
I'm
he
guess-
wearing underwear? I mean, a shirtless man. A man with no jewelry assaulted. Why would you point out that he was shirtless? I'm just curious.
I don't know why
Who
they would point
writes
out.
this stuff?
I would guess somebody at CNN apparently. I would.
A really sexy shirtless man was super duper sexy. I don't get it. A shirtless man.
The FBI identified the suspect as Mohammed Sabri Solomon, but don't mention anywhere that he was in this country illegally.
No, they're not going to mention that. Although that was on Breitbart this morning. That he
Yeah.
was an Egyptian man who had overstayed his visa.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I'm thinking he's shirtless is because he
Cody,
was
he's
smart enough.
licking the outlet. He's not necessarily. Some wisdom is experiential. Have y'all ever noticed how
He
some of
wasn't-
your
he wasn't
wisdom
licking
is
the actual plug.
yeah, but some of your
Something was
wisdom
on
is
there.
from bad experiences.
Yeah.
You know, like you learn the hard way. That might fry him.
That guy was probably shirtless because as he's firing off his Molotov cocktails and his homemade flamethrower, he didn't want to catch fire.
Interesting.
That's my guess on that. He was practicing fire safety.
Good for thee, not for me. The S&P is up 18% since April.
Yeah.
Wow.
Buy low if you.
What is the left going to whine about next? What is left for them to whine about?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Price of eggs is looking good. Was that not the dumbest thing ever? Single out one item at a grocery store and decide we're going to fixate on that.
Yeah.
That's the hill we're going to die on. The price of eggs.
I'll tell you what they're going to fixate on because they've already started, and it's the rescission and the money that's involved in that, and how the president doesn't have the authority to do what he's doing, how it's not allowed.
It's against
never
the law,
done it.
they're saying.
Yeah. So that's the next one. That'll be this week's.
Apparently somewhere in the 70s, at some point in the 1970s, a law was made by Congress, and I don't know under which weak administration this was. I'm going to bet the Carter administration, that said if Congress appropriates X number of dollars to a program, that the executive branch must send that money to the program. So this is kind of where the concept of if you don't use it, you're going to lose it came from. If the Trump administration says Congress appropriated $100 billion for USAID, and the Trump administration decides we only like about 10% of that, so we're going to send them $10 billion and let them do what they can do with it. In theory, the president's breaking the law. And that's going to come back around because I believe
what else is new? He's a lawbreaker all the time.
Oh, he's a felon. 37 felons. I can't believe the guy's still on the streets. That shows you how stupid it all was.
Well, it's funny how quickly Letitia James gets basically accused of the exact same sort of real estate fraud, and the left is silent on that one.
It is unbelievable to me that people made a big deal about what Trump did with how you try, because all this stuff is arbitrary. He owns the building, so he tries to get as high a valuation as he can on it because he's leveraging. He owns the building. It's worth $400 million. He gets somebody to agree that it's worth $500 million because he can borrow 80%. Yeah. So now he gets the whole $400 million.
Well, except I don't even think he got somebody to agree it was worth $500. I think he just told them it was worth $500, and the banks took him at his word. And so Donald Trump is the bad guy for the banks not doing their due diligence.
They forget to tell you that when he got the $400 million, that he also paid it all back. He didn't default on the loans. No. I don't. And by the way, it's the exact. Don't tell me. Look at the CAD. How many people have a building that they know they wouldn't sell for less than $500,000, but it's on the books for $165,000? They don't complain. They don't go, excuse me, you're undercharging me on my taxes. Nobody does that.
Fuck is taxation is theft.
That's right.
They know it. They just don't always
want to admit it. Exact same thing. Yeah. Exact same thing. People that will fight at the CAD to get their property values lowered down
will
try to get the highest appraisal they can get on their home because they're going to do a refi.
Yeah.
And they want to pull out enough money to redo their kitchen. You're just as big a felon as Donald Trump. That's how stupid that stuff was.
Yeah. Speaking of Donald Trump, the left, of course, mad because the mass firings, I think, were put on hold by a Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals on Friday night. Again, where the hell's these courts on Friday night? If courts worked on Friday nights, we wouldn't have the backlog in the courts that we have.
That's right.
You wouldn't need to wait 4 months for your court case to come up.
The Trump administration appealed, but on Friday night, the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled that the sweeping layoffs will remain on hold. Yeah. In a 2-1 decision, the Ninth Circuit panel said Trump's executive order far exceeds the president's supervisory powers over the Constitution or under the Constitution. Wow. So the Supreme Court's going to be involved. The Supreme Court
has to be involved, and it didn't go anywhere. Here's the problem with this. Nobody was complaining in the government when the Biden administration was increasing spending to fill these jobs and to create these jobs
via executive order.
Nobody's been mad at the government overspending, but now that you want to cut the spending, it's like the world's coming to an end. Tell me what services have really improved with all this government bloat.
None.
Waiting.
Well, remember when federal workers, when it took them like 6 months to get retired and to get and to start getting their pension, if you will. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Linda Chris says, I'm more concerned with the Texas surplus than the continued increase in taxes. Shouldn't it? Linda, yeah.
I agree, Linda.
And they'll tell you, we gave you $100,000 on your VI, on your school district exemption.
Yeah, but I want a check. I want them to send me a check in the mail.
$50 billion in the last 4 years has been the surplus.
So $50
in this
billion,
state, and they found a way to spend every single freaking dime of it the last 4 years.
Cody, do the math for me. Take $50 billion and divide it by 30 million. It's over $1,666 a piece, I believe.
It's pretty good math if you're correct.
1666, 67, 777. There you go.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Look at you.
That's crazy.
I'm a savant. I am a savant. Thank you. Please worship. Yeah. Think about that. For every man, woman, and child, I mean, can you imagine $1,667? They could give that to me, Dawn, Caden, Rylan.
Riker.
Do we go down this rabbit hole with Linda? She wants teachers to be paid more. I love teachers to be paid more.
Yeah, teachers should be paid more. In
But
fact,
you know what?
teachers are
If
getting
we're
paid
still
more.
bottom of the barrel as a state amongst 50 states,
Yeah.
37th.
You know what?
Maybe
though?
not yet. I don't know.
I want plumbers to be paid more too. I mean, everybody should make more money. I just,
Unless you want to hire that plumber, then you go to try to find the cheapest one you can
I
find.
just think that, trust me, my mother's probably listening, and I grew up in a home with an educator, and I'm just telling you that just
and
because
look how you turned out.
yeah, just because it's such a noble profession does not mean that you should make a bunch of money doing it. Sorry. Just sorry. I mean, I'll tell you that sheriff's deputy starts at $25 an hour. And there was a time that I could say that a school teacher didn't risk her life every day, although now they arguably do. I think it's, I agree that school teachers are underpaid, but anybody who tells you, I'm into education because I knew at some point the pendulum would shift and I would make a bunch of money. Well, number one, they're lying to you. And number two, they're not very smart. So do you really want them teaching your kid? If you went into education to make a bunch of money, you ain't very smart.
Maybe
But I
should be
do,
teaching?
I do like the idea of taking some of that money and giving it to our school teachers. I agree, Linda Christ, 100%. Yup.
So last week floated the idea that maybe we should offer up the ability for Iran to purchase enriched uranium for their nuclear power
From us, because all they
From
want
us
to use it for is for
or
power.
others. Well, a UN watchdog report leaked over the weekend. This is on where's this on 1440? So we'll give that. Apparently, Iran has conducted secret uranium enrichment activities.
They should be bombed.
In 3 facilities that they have undisclosed to the UN watchdog group.
That should be impetus for war. They should be bombed.
Iran has more than 400 kilograms of uranium at 60% purity, which is enough for 10 nuclear weapons if enriched to 90% purity. And those are levels, according to this watchdog report, that are well above what is necessary for the generation of power.
But they can get the uranium enriched to 90% in less than 2 weeks. But a month would then take a bomb would then take months to build.
But
And
if you're
then
having,
you've got to deliver it. Iran's Air Force, doesn't have a lot of bombers. There's all these ifs and buts. But the U.S. throughout presidential terms has said, look, we will not tolerate a nuclear capable Iran. And I believe that you're going to see our administration do something about that really soon. I look for
sanctions.
No, I don't think sanctions are going to be it. I think you're going to see you're going to say, in a strange turn of events, there was an unexplained explosion at a uranium. We don't know what happened. All the uranium was captured. That's what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, Israel has threatened to strike out at their Iran's
you want to
nuclear
see
facilities.
Israel get sideways with the U.S. It's easy. Netanyahu can look at Trump and say, it's easy for you to say they just hate you. They really want to kill us, and they're a lot closer to us. All Trump has to do is turn the Jews loose on Iran. It'll be over with. Turn them loose.
Interesting story. Researchers finding that aerobic exercise, imagine that, exercise is good for you again.
Wow. But from colon cancer.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense because you're no longer sitting around on your butt, letting everything build up in there. At least that makes sense to me.
The theater of the mind. Get that word picture going.
Researchers tracked almost 900 colon cancer patients for 15 years. And these had all received chemotherapy, and half of them were assigned readings on a healthy lifestyle. The others were assigned a personal coach to get them through. So what they found is those that had the coach actually did more than those who were just told to do it themselves.
No kidding.
Yeah, imagine that. But what they did find, a 28% reduction in cancer reoccurrence and 37% fewer deaths.
How about that?
So swim, walk, bike, kayak, run, at least 3 45 to 60-minute walks each week or the equivalent thereof. So if you went a little higher intensity, you could back off that time. That's all it takes, folks. 3 hours a week. If you had cancer, and you would reduce your recurrent rate by roughly 1/3.
That's awesome.
Imagine what that would do for you if you didn't have cancer.
That's why I've always felt like I eat tons and tons of spicy food. I'm telling you, you folks tell me, I don't know any of my Hispanic friends who've ever had stomach or colon cancer.
Of the Bartolo colon?
No, never. Never. I don't. I'm convinced that jalapenos will save your life.
Well, Vince says try inline skating for exercise. I used to do that down here.
Will,
and then
quit telling us what to do.
And then the city came in and resurfaced my road and made it worse, and I couldn't do it anymore. So, yeah.
There's a project afoot. They're going to do some work on Millette Drive, and they want to do some work on Glasgow. And the problem is that the trauma there is if you do Glasgow first, it's parallel to Millette. You put all that pressure on Millette, and then you've got the school.
And you've got the school on Glasgow.
They should have started Millette like the day school got out.
They should have started Millette before they built the school.
Oh, don't be so proactive. That is so arrogant.
Well, this is the first day since school got out.
Right. Did you see? I didn't
Friday.
see any
They wrote
equipment.
Thursday afternoon, I think.
Yeah, and I didn't see any equipment on that.
Teachers worked Friday.
Teachers. Nobody's dropping off their teachers at the school.
There you have it. Folks, it's Monday. The show is over. Junior says jalapenos and whiskey.
I think it's the tequila, Junior.
Have a great day, folks. You can't win the week if you don't win Monday.
Bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
Near every bar around.